since it's a 4:1, I hope I'll get adequate time on this.
Yes, but let me point out something for you, that none of your allies was willing to come. You can have the extra time, but I just want to point out for fairness, none of your other allies was willing to come. We tried them meticulously and they said no. Now please go ahead and answer.
So at least allow me a 4:1 in terms of time. Now, you are reading so much out of the statement, which is actually not a reflection of the intent of the Prime Minister. First, you have to understand this case went to the Supreme Court, and the government has assured the Supreme Court about what is going to happen on the 31st of December. So instead of relying on an official statement by the government, you are picking up something which has been said in a rally in a context which is different. Normalcy is not in terms of the lines or anything of that kind. It is the environmental normalcy, which there is so much of halagulla which has been made by the opposition.
So you're saying don't believe at face value what the Prime Minister says to the people of India at a rally? You're saying don't believe it at face value?
No, I am saying you are misinterpreting in the context of what it has been said.
But then
it has not been said in the context of what you are saying.
What is the correct interpretation of saying 50 दिन के बाद मैंने हिसाब लगाया है कि धीरे धीरे करके पहले जैसी स्थिति की तरफ आगे बढ़ेंगे? What's the correct interpretation?
The correct interpretation of this is that the environment which has got so badly vitiated by all the misinformations given by the opposition or otherwise will return to normalcy, and the nation will look at this in a very normal context and not in the agitated context which has been projected by the media or otherwise. So that is the context. Now let me come down to the basic issue.
No, we are not coming down to the basic issue. We are sticking to this question. I'm not going off this question, but I'm happy with your contextualizing it. I'm just clarifying what you said for the audience. You're saying the misinformation put out by the media and by the opposition parties has created the belief that something is going wrong. That misinformation will be corrected on the 30th of December. Have I correctly put across what you were saying? Yes, okay. Let's then come... No, we'll come to the and later.
Assessment has also been articulated before the Supreme Court.
Well, I believe in that affidavit to the Supreme Court, the Prime Minister did not specify, nor did the government, what would be the situation on the 31st of December. You say...
Karanji, I am amazed at the analogy. What he is talking is the natural consequence of the victory over the black money syndrome, which was the biggest ill of this economy. By this act, you've had the entire parallel economy, which was running in a cash economy mode, get to the bank. Now, it is such a monumental achievement, and a consequence of that achievement is that you must now consolidate the gains. That since all the money is in the bank, let us now try and move towards a cashless economy, so that we do not again create a parallel black money economy. Instead of looking at things in the right perspective, instead of being laudatory to the achievement, look at the perverseness with which we are dealing with the subject.
You're a master politician, sir. You're a master politician. You've literally turned the argument on its head. The Prime Minister is not changing the goalpost because the old justifications don't work. He's adding a new one because the old justifications have been achieved successfully. It's a master stroke from you, Mr. Mittal. The only question is, will the audience buy it?
Why do I say that?
Will the audience buy it? So far, the country is questioning it, but you've come up with a master explanation.
Allow me to explain why I say it. Sir, allow me to explain why I say this.
Quickly.
You all said 15 lakh crores is in cash economy. If 14 lakhs, 13 lakhs are deposited in the bank, have you not eliminated the cash black money economy? You have. And
or it's been laundered.
Let me tell you.
Or it's been laundered. Or there was no black money. You're leaving out those two possibilities, but never mind, you have a right to ignore the ones you don't like. I still applaud you on that master argument, turning everyone else's answer on its head. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back and ask, what will India look like 6 months and 1 year down the road after demonetization? Will it be a bright, beautiful India, or will we be suffering and regretting what we've been through? That's in a moment's time. See you after the break. Sudhanshu Mittal, and I don't want to exaggerate, but some people, and I emphasize the word some, are becoming concerned that demonetization may not end happily. How can you reassure them that those fears are groundless and exaggerated?
The doomsday seers of our polity as well as economy have got their facts wrong. Have they got the economics wrong? Let me just illustrate something. The moment you have 14 lakh crores in the bank and when it is spent, do you realize the ambit of tax net which gets increased, not just the direct tax, but the indirect tax? Why do you want the poor of this country to remain poor? The government must have more money if it has to work on the welfare of the poor. Why should the infrastructure of this country remain bad? The government must have more money to augment the infrastructure. And this money comes out of this.
Okay.
The moment this money is plowed back through the banking channels in the economy, it entails higher direct tax, it entails very large net of indirect tax. Do you know we are the lowest tax to ratio of GDP in the world? We are one of the lowest countries. The tax to GDP ratio will increase dramatically out of this.
Okay.
And the governments of the day will have enough money to work on the welfare schemes.
All right,
but
Mr.
these
Mittal.
people will not want to understand. These people will not like to understand. These people will persist with the negativity which is not there. Falsehood, complete falsehood. You just heard 2%.
Mr. Mittal, I have to bring you to an end. You're very eloquent, but I have to bring you to an end.
GDP. If a nation is growing at 7.5% growth, you're talking about less than 1%. If that is the cost of eliminating black money and parallel economy and widening the tax net and increasing government revenue, I think let's applaud
all right.
it. Let's not
1%, as you're saying, is well worth paying if you become a cleaner, better, less corrupt country. Let's sum it up with that. This is clearly an issue on which the people of India will make up their own minds. You've heard the different arguments put tonight by politicians. Now it's for you to decide which one you wish to go with. My thanks to all of those guests for joining me. And if you have been, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night.